Thanks. I have a question for Eddie here as well. And Jerry, feel free to hop in afterwards because you might have some comments. It's around premiumization. So a lot of wineries obviously have focused on, selling a premium product. Obviously, and it sounds like that's what Jerry does. So, but one of the challenges is a lot of time where that's sold is it's sold in a store by an experienced staff member, or it's at the restaurant with the sommelier who's telling the story. And now a lot of wineries have premium brands, and they now have to tell the story, and a lot of that time that they would have had or other people telling it is gone. So kind of in an online format, like a virtual tasting, is there anything you can do additionally for a premium product to help sell it and tell that story?
So with that, I get into what is the difference between branding and marketing. All of us, if I said the word right now, Volvo, in the chat, what comes to your mind? Safety, says Paul. Excellent. Safety family car. Sweden, says Wes. Yeah, Volvo, we automatically think safety, right? That's their brand. They are known for being the safe family car, right? The marketing dollars, organizations spend millions of dollars to market, to tell you what to think about their brand, right? Well, social media has become an even playing field. So the question is, are we the world's best kept secret? We have the ability to use social media to market ourselves at low cost or low cost, and then have our brand become known. So if your bottle of wine or your winery, you want to raise the profile, you can raise your brand by leveraging social media. What is happening here tonight is just one example of that. You can hold your own forum, your own Facebook Live, your own LinkedIn Live, and broadcast to people. It doesn't just have to be a session where everybody has come to you. Raise your profile where people know about you, and then people will start to come to you, and you separate yourself from the next competitor.
Yeah, to that, I think, we've had discussions about there's an inability to scale this. I think a couple things to sort of think about is we're a relatively new brand. We're a small brand. So for us, we are interested in identifying the minimum viable audience. Everybody is not a Project M customer. Even if this thing takes off and my wildest dreams come true, I'm still at 10 to 15,000 cases. I don't want to be everywhere. I don't want to be everybody's wine. That's not what I want to do. So what we're interested in doing is finding, what I say is, I'm looking for 10,000 people to buy one case a year. That's my objective. And with that, keeping that in mind, as I do this, suddenly that scale becomes much smaller. I'm not trying to speak to everybody so that I can look at the value of what I'm doing. And I would also say that anybody that's interested in this idea of doing things that aren't scalable at the beginning of a brand or an experience, a movement, if you will, like these virtual tastings, is that there's a podcast called Masters of Scale, hosted by Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn. And he does an episode with the guys from Airbnb, and he talks about this. The guys that started Airbnb would go in and take the photographs of people's apartments themselves. Now you look, 10 years later, it's a huge company, but they started out doing things that did not scale. It goes back to that experience. Scalable experiences tend to be commodity experiences. And we're not a commodity winery. We're not looking for a commodity buyer. So we're not interested in sort of doing something that's simple and easy and everybody can have. We are interested in doing things that are small and fine and building that through the experience. At some point, we're going to have to scale that. If this continues on after the COVID pandemic, we're going to have to figure out how to scale it if there's demand for it. And that, I think the first step with that is training people to do it other than myself, so that we can have multiple people doing this. I would prefer to do that over sort of create stock videos that people would just sort of watch and send out. I think that's a commodity approach to my thinking. So in terms of sort of that idea of, ask yourself, are you a brand that's for everybody? Because I worked, for Rotor Estate, and everybody in the world is in the market for a $20 sparkling wine once a year. So that market is huge, and that's a completely different approach and sell and thought process than looking for 10,000 people to buy 12 bottles a year. So that's sort of my thought on that, I guess.
I concur with you 100%, Jerry. If I just may add, we don't selection and exclusivity are are elements of the best premier brands in the world. My favorite cologne, Clive Christensen. They don't want to be bought by everyone. They like the title of the world's most expensive cologne. That's not the cologne you're going to see that everybody purchases. But even the brand like a Clive Christensen has elevated their profile. And by elevating their profile, even clamoring more for that exclusivity. Even our premier cards, the American Express Platinum card, they don't want everybody to have that, right? But there's still something that even though we want to be exclusive, we still want our brand to be known, and it's the one people clamor for. And it's like, oh, you've got Jerry's wine? How'd you get that? I've been wanting that for months.
Yeah, just if anyone has a final question.